I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter for Forbes. Joining me now is Carlie Porterfield, a Forbes news reporter. Carlie, I really appreciate you being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, as we all know, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have really been in the spotlight, unveiling projects left and right since they stepped down from the royal family back in 2020. And you've covered these deals, so let's go through them and how much each one is estimated to be valued. First, let's talk at the most recent one, the one who's generated the most recent headline buzz, which is Spare. What can you tell us?
So Spare is one of the best-selling nonfiction books of all time already, just within a few weeks of being published. And the advance that Harry received reportedly is also among the largest. It's been reported that he received a $20 million advance before publishing the book.
Wow, that's incredible. That's a pretty penny. Is he keeping all of that money for himself?
That's what we're not sure of. The publishing house and Prince Harry said that they do want to donate some of the proceeds from the royal family, but they have not been responsive when it comes to us asking how much of it exactly will go to charity or how much of the advance, if it went to charity at all, or if he's just keeping all of it. We're really not sure.
And that's a huge number, 20 million. Is this the most profitable of all of their projects that they're releasing?
So it's not the largest amount of money that they've received from one of their media projects. And in terms of how much just of a bulk number they're getting. Their largest deal to date was actually a 5-year, $100 million contract with Netflix that they signed in 2020. And one of the projects from that deal was their recent docuseries, Harry and Meghan, that came out late last year, or earlier this year, that came out a few months ago. And so that's probably their most profitable one that's been reported.
Interesting. And, there's a theme with these past few projects we've been talking about. They're rehashing their story. We've heard it on Oprah. That was shocking when that interview dropped just a few years ago. We heard it again in the 6-part docuseries. We heard it again in Spare. What other projects are they going to release that's not just their story? Because how many times can you rehash the story?
So the next Netflix documentary that they're coming out with, the docuseries, is about Prince Harry's nonprofit. It's almost like an Olympic Games for injured veterans. It's called Invictus. And so that will follow them through one of the Invictus games. So even though I think it will be very personal, because as we know from Spare, Harry is very interested in helping veterans. He's a veteran himself. He talked about his time in Afghanistan in the book. So I think that will kind of be a step away from them. They're almost like the way that they've, obviously Harry did a memoir. This 6-part docuseries was obviously mostly about them. And even though I think Invictus will be more personal, it will be kind of a step away from their personal life.
Interesting. And will the audience be receptive to that, do we think? Do we have any evidence that their projects that they're not talking about themselves have succeeded?
Yeah, I think it's too soon to know about specific projects like that. But Harry and Meghan's popularity in the UK has fallen since a lot of these projects have come out, especially Spare. I think that people are a little bit more sensitive in the UK to how members of the royal family, even if they're not working, senior members of the royal family, like Harry and Meghan no longer are, how they're profiting off their status and kind of maybe what some people would say is selling their family members out to make a buck. That's some criticism that's been leveled at them as well.
That's interesting you say that. I was talking to Michael Solomon, the Forbes Life editor here, and we had this as very similar conversation. And he said, this is great therapy for Harry, but there's really, no coming back from this after you say certain things about your family members. And I'm not here to judge, whatever happened. But there is a sense of, you said, sentiment in the UK really turning against them. And Michael and I talked about a sort of Harry and Meghan fatigue, perhaps here in the United States, from when their docuseries came out and onward. Do you think that sort of fatigue could impact any deals, future or these ones lined up?
Yeah, so far, Spare was, like we talked about, one of the best-selling books. Their docuseries, Harry and Meghan, had the best premiere of any documentary series on Netflix so far in terms of Netflix originals. So far, we're not seeing evidence that people are tired of hearing about them, but once those other projects come out, I guess we'll find out.